Hi all, welcome back. Red Storm, Dark Blue Defection, Scenario 4, Iron Eagle. This is my part 28 of this scenario, so it's stretched on quite a bit. This could well be the last part though. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that might not be quite true, but the fact... Yeah, MiG-29, yeah, he's not only disordered, he's aborted now as well. And yeah, just while that's on my mind there, I was thinking, is this common practice for... Well, I mean, it must be. This is on Prairie Car 5. This has nothing to do with Dark Blue Defection. So this is the main rules of the solo game. And damage aircraft. If all aircraft in flight are damaged, flight aborts. Hold on, no, Grant. Hold on. Right. Okay, and the next one is crippled aircraft. So if you've got a crippled aircraft in your flight, okay, you could split in the next admin phase and get back in the action. But if you can't do that, or whatever, yeah, it's got to exit the player area and roll for recovery. So there's not... That doesn't abort. Yeah, I'm forgetting that abort does actually say that you can land. Yeah, I was... For some reason I was thinking to myself that these flights aren't going to attempt to land, and I thought, that seems rather silly. Flights abort as a consequence of such and such. The player may choose to abort a flight at any time. Note the abort state on the flight log sheet, optionally use an abort marker. Any flight that aborts may move freely, unrestricted by the flight path rules. Another thing I was thinking about there, slam flight, I'm pretty sure is an abort state as well, because it's... Well, actually, it has infrared missiles. Well, hang on though. It was a bombing mission. Sorry, I'm jumping about here. Right from the start, jumping about all over the place. Bombing. Abort if all air-to-ground ordnance jettisoned. Well, there you go. That is an abort state as well. So I'm actually going to mark on... now, do I have abort markers? I'm going to mark abort on my F111 Aardvarks flight. Now, going back to just while we're talking about it, I'm throwing things about now as well. Cisco flight has... It's got one clean flight though, Grant. Have I missed something? I thought we dealt with that. Did we not take care of Cisco? No, we didn't. He still has one undamaged aircraft, one damaged aircraft, and two destroyed aircraft. Why did I think that? Okay, I might just go and double check that. Okay, yeah, I'm not quite sure what I was thinking about there. He does have one good aircraft left, so he's not in abort status yet. He does only have his guns left, but let's just check again these tasks for the... A cat flight, abort when all air weapons depleted. Well, he's not. He's got his guns, but... I know I'm all over the place here, but just... Who was it? Silver Fox. Silver Fox is also a depleted flight. Now, where's depleted? Depleted. He's going to abort, that's what I'm trying to say. I need more abort markers. Where are they? There's one. Right, so I'm going to put... Oh, that's Silver Fox. Where is he? Because he's one of the F-16s. I can't just put it. Is that him there? Oh, that's Saint. Oh, he's underneath there. Well, you know what? I will put on the F-16. Hopefully I'll remember that it's Silver Fox. Well, I can check the weapons, because Saint still has air-to-air weapons. So Siskov is not depleted. No, Cisco hasn't actually activated that, has it? No, I was going to put the cube on top. That cube's representing Silver Fox has been moved. Right, what else have we got? So Siskov, he's not aborting, but he's got a disordered. I mean, he's in a pretty bad shape. However, he's not aborting, and this was me just trying to work out if this scenario can end soon. We can have a look at. I'm not quite sure he can get. See, I think we do need to run into turn 9 and possibly, but I don't know, because we're all just going to fly away now, aren't we? There's nothing more. Well, there's another option. We could chase after Siskov and try and finish him off. And this was the other reason about if I had done this properly, the Zelenko flight would still be on the map, and we maybe could. I mean, the only aircraft we've got that can do that now is Saint flight. So, you know, but he could engage in air-to-air combat, and well, maybe might consider it, I suppose. Right. So I still feel like this probably should be the last part of the scenario. But then that's been 6 minutes recording, Grant, and you've just talking about it finishing. So it's less chance it will be the last part now. Okay, and you've got 2 or 3 comments to talk about. Not that many. Right. So I think I've got markers right. Abort. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, John, so from part 26, nothing really there. He just comments on my mistake, which is what part 26 was all about. He says, yeah, I find I have to be more methodical with this game than some others. I have to be deliberate in which shortcuts I take and which I do not. Basically, that was me just skipping by the rules of engagement part of standard air-to-air combat, and it was just so blatantly obvious though as well, which, you know, I've noticed it before, so it wasn't even as if it was close. But anyway, he says otherwise I end up making the same kind of mistakes, so you're not alone, Grant. He says, that said, you were good other than that little error. So yeah, well, yeah, there wasn't much more that happened in the part, was there, apart from that little error, as you call it, John. But I get your point. Okay, so, and finally, he's just made a few, I think, hang on, pause, Grant. These comments look like they were coming. Oh no, he's got them all in one. Yeah, he's got them all in one. I thought they were separate comments. Or maybe they are, he's edited the post. So these were from part 27, and it runs up to that an hour and 2 minute mark. So yeah, he probably has went right through the video then. I just know I'd seen one comment and then another one came in, and he was probably doing it on his phone. Anyway, 17 minute and 55 second mark. And I was watching back on this. No, because I'm not even caught up myself. I think I was only just watching back part 24 recently. But again, I was talking about my level bombing. He pointed me towards this already. When I was talking about this, well, have I challenged your rule wrong then, John? And maybe that's why I then started getting confused. Because you said 17.3 at first, didn't you? And I thought you meant 17.2. So it said 17.3 third paragraph, though, if I remember. And that seems to be the bit that talks about it in 17.2. It looks like that's what you had meant. Anyway, it says level bombing prohibits altitude change during the bomb run. Some other attack profiles do as well. I believe 17.2 has to do with a forced altitude change, which is likely to be accompanied by a manoeuvre marker anyhow. Yeah, because that's what I was reading, and it says about if it's forced to turn or change. So what? Well, you did say 17.3. Is it in here then? 17.3. It's just got attack profiles, and there's only 2 paragraphs to that. You did say the third paragraph, 17.3. That's why I assumed you had got the rule reference wrong. I don't know. The bit that I wanted to look at was the level bombing. Oh, hang on. He's maybe meaning 17.3. Well, 17.32, I suppose, could be classed as it's the third rule in, maybe. That's level bombing profile. So, visual bombing attack, IP is 1 hex from target. No climb or dive permitted during the attack. Okay, I think that's what you meant. I picked you up wrong when you. I thought you'd said third paragraph, but I see maybe what you've been meaning there. So, no climb or dive permitted during the attack. There you go. So, fair enough. Good. Okay. So, we couldn't have done any of that. I think we got all of that right. I was watching back on me checking modifiers after the bomb run. When we done that, and we spent our last movement point, I was a bit concerned that I might still be on my bomb run. Didn't think I was. You didn't make any comment on that, so I must have got that right. Yeah, and then I was watching me clumsily checking 3 times for the inherent 2K22, which that should have only been a one time check. They just fire once at you. And I checked it 3 times because I moved 3 times. I checked the AA concentration 3 times. That is correct. You do that, but not with inherent ones, or even if it was a straight up 2K22 or even a fire can. They only get to fire at you once. Right. Right at the 1 hour and 40-second mark, you are the attacker, so you choose the arc for the entire combat. So I figured that was right, but it was just still bugging me a little bit that. Sometimes we were looking at it looked like you were looking at it from the defender's point of view. Well, you were looking at it from the defender's point of view, but it kind of felt like it should be his consideration of which side. But no, I think you've tried to drum that into me before, but I'm the attacker, so it's all my choice, and I'm struggling with that. But I did go through it with that belief, so we got it right, I think. And then an hour and 2. Oh yeah, I wanted to check this. He says an hour and 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I believe you automatically drop to the defender's altitude as part of engaging. Do not have rules in front of me to verify. Well, I wouldn't have considered that at all. And but he could be right, so we'll need to go and have a look. I know when you move into the hex. But I didn't consider dropping, and to be honest, this could be bad for us because... Right, where am I going to find this? Right, wait till I find the rule. Yeah, it looks like it is right here. I was looking at the bit that says you move into the hex. I'm not reading the words, but I'm sure I've read the words. Anyway, it looks like it's confirmed here on page 18, 11.3 combat. If standard air combat commences as a result of engagement, it uses up all the attacking, not defending flight's remaining movement points. I knew that one, I had that one down. Because I had a movement point left, actually, I seem to remember, and then taking the dice away. All flights involved in combat are visually identified, okay? The combat takes place in the defender's hex and altitude. So it's his altitude. If the defender's on the hex side, the attack determines which adjacent hex the combat takes place in. There it is there. Both flights are moved into the combat hex, retaining their current orientation. So we must have to drop the altitude in. The combat takes place in the defender's hex and altitude. Well, I suppose if we're up close here, if we can't be at a different altitude, can we? So, okay. I wouldn't have thought of that though. So that's going to cause a slight problem because this was Silver Fox, wasn't it? And he scattered. He was at high altitude. Well, I thought he was at high altitude. However, the MiG-29 was at medium altitude. We both actually scattered on odd numbers and dropped altitude. So we should have been attacking at medium altitude. So this is bad. This is bad. Yeah, it is. So we should have scattered when being at medium altitude, which would have dropped us to low altitude. Because let's say it was a scatter with an odd die roll. Now they were at, it's on the card his altitude, but initially he was at medium. when we attack. That's why we should have dropped from high to medium to do the attack. But then you end up with that modifier as well. Or is that just the engagement modifier? Is there not? I think it is actually. It's only with BVR you check that afterwards, because you can be at different altitudes of BVR, can't you? So checking an engagement is a -1 in different altitude band, but checking the actual maneuver table, yeah, there's no check for, well, apart from the maneuver rating modifiers, which I did adjust that, but there's not a modifier in there. Sorry, there's not a modifier in there that says if we're at different altitude bands, and that's because we cannot be at different altitude bands because we've already moved to the same altitude. Okay, so that means we've dropped to low in that scatter. Now scatter is after morale, isn't it? I'll just see if it talks about scatter there, because it might mention. Alright, well, it's under 13.2 in the rules, so I mean, my belief now is we're going to have to check for an inherent 2K22 attack, because we've dropped to low altitude. Okay, let me put my tablet back on charge, because that was his last comment there, and well, I think, well, we'll look into this first, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have to take a check, take fire on that. Yeah, we didn't find it in the scatter section, but I knew I had read about this. I mean, to be honest, you probably don't need to read about it. It's just when we're at that altitude, if it can fire, it fires. And then on page 22, 14.4 AA barrage, you check, you roll a barrage attack on a flight immediately each time the following applies. The first one is, it enters a hex in a barrage zone via movement, scatter, or SAM avoidance. So this is an inherent barrage zone because it's within 5 hexes off the front. So yeah, so we're going to take that check. We're going to have to take that check. This was the last flight we moved as well, so it's not as if we've jumped on much. Yeah, I think he's going to move next, isn't he? Yeah, because we've got the wee marker saying Warsaw back. Right, let's get this done then and see if... Yeah, okay. Now, I was just wondering, the only possibility is, have we taken one of these checks this turn? I want to say no, because I climbed from medium to high altitude, didn't I? Yeah, in fact, did the SAM not launch at us when we went from medium to high? Yeah, so we were never at low to be able to take this check. So now we are, because we dropped... Well, we had to drop to medium to engage them, obviously, the same altitude, and then we dropped to low with the scatter, right? So we do have to do this. So we're at low altitude, so it's a 13. So we're going to roll and hopefully get less than a 13 and everything will be fine. There we go. 7, there we go, right, okay, we got away with it then. That's good. Now the only downside there is when we go to move him again, even by climbing him to medium, well, actually not only, well, it depends who you'll move first, Grant, really. It's going to be him or Saint, I think, because the SAM's round about that area as well. Right, okay. So that was everything up to date, I think. So as Warsaw Pact's turn, they only have the one flight, Siskov, who's undetected. He's undetected. He's got a manoeuvre marker. He's at low altitude. He's got a max turn marker, and he's disordered. So yeah, well, what does that get them all doing then? Well, here we go. So we're on that. So the first one that applies is manoeuvre marker. So it says combat thrall and spend half the movement points to remove the manoeuvre marker. So we can't go at dash. Now, he doesn't have a crippled aircraft when it comes to it. He's got one damaged aircraft and one undamaged aircraft. The other two were shot down. So he's at low altitude. He's a clean profile. He's got a speed of 4. So he's setting combat throttle at 4. And he's going to spend 2 of that to remove that. Okay? So that's the start of this. So then looking further down for the disorder part, really. So none of these apply. Like I say, he has one damaged aircraft, but they're not all. He's got one damaged, one undamaged. He's not got any crippled aircraft. He's not aborted. However, he is disordered. So with the 2 points left, so it says if not adjacent to orbit rally point, dash throttle. Well, we can't set dash throttle. We've already had to set combat throttle to do the maneuver marker thing. Right, well, here's the thing here. Okay, well, we'll maybe have to have a look into that. Let's read this first. Climb on altitude band and move as closely as possible to nearest orbit rally point or friendly airfield. Right, now, I would certainly override that. I would also override that, and I think we talked about this before. I think I overrode this climb one altitude band already because it then meant I couldn't reach the rally point with that movement, and it felt silly. And also the dash throttle part, when you're trying to reach the rally point, what's the point if you can do it combat throttle? So I think John understands the overriding of them. Whether he plays them by the book or not, I can't quite remember. I think there was one of the two that he felt like he would change. He would override, if you like. Anyway, if already adjacent to orbit rally point, combat throttle, stay at current altitude, and move as necessary to remain adjacent. Winchester, all area weapons deployed. No, he's still got his guns, right? But that's not coming in it yet. We'll still do that. So he's wanting to reach an orbit rally point or a friendly airfield. So yeah, I mean, obviously I've just started thinking here. We've got Schweinfurt right here. Now, well, we've been bombing it, which tells me that it's friendly to Siskov. Can I classify that as, can I get a rally from that airfield? I suppose that's the question I'm asking. I'm wishing John would just reply right now and it'd be nice and simple for me. But however, he's not. The other ones, these are closed. This one looks like it's behind the lines. This one looks like it's not. But these are friendly to us. These are NATO airfields that have been closed. This was a NATO airfield, but because it's across the other side of the front, so we're going to have to look a bit more into this, because if that is applicable for me, then I can move it adjacent to that. Well, actually, he can't turn. He's got a max turn marker on him. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. Well, he's not going to be able to reach there. Well, you know what? He can't roll for disorder recovery anyway this turn, because he just received the disorder. Well, he was just involved in air-to-air combat. It's not really about the receiving the disorder this turn. It's because I was reading that, the wording of that wrong. It says, do not roll for disorder recovery if the flight was attacked by SAM or AA that turn, engaged in the air-to-air combat that turn, acquired by a SAM any time during that turn. So he was engaged in the air-to-air combat that turn. However, if we engaged him in air-to-air combat next turn, he still again wouldn't be allowed to roll for disorder recovery. I believe that's how I'm reading that now, although I wasn't reading it that way initially. Okay. Yeah, so the fact that he can't roll for it this turn, it doesn't really matter if we can reach, if this is classed as a rally point being adjacent. I'm going to have to find out about these try and find out more about these airfields, I guess. Right, so just Page 44, 28.3, captured NATO airfields. I've read this recently though, as the front, and it describes the front in Rule 29, which is the next page on the next rule. As the front moves forward, certain NATO airfields will end up on the Warsaw Pact side of the front, depending on the date. Well, we can see that this airfield is across the other side. Well, we're actually been bombing this airfield. So that in itself tells me that it's a Warsaw Pact airfield. But anyway, reading on. Once behind the Warsaw Pact front, these airfields may be used by the Warsaw Pact player as if they were Warsaw Pact airfields. Well, that kind of just confirms it, doesn't it? I mean, if not for the fact that we were trying to bomb it. To be honest, we could have been trying to bomb it to stop them from using that. Yeah, that's kind of common sense, Grant, isn't it? Anyway, they retain their inherent white AA concentrations, which we've been allowing, yeah. They are not, however, considered to be in East Germany for any purpose. That reference, I don't know what that means. I mean, well, is there any reference to East Germany? No. Obviously that means something. I mean, I know East Germany is Warsaw Pact, West Germany is NATO, but I don't know why it's referring to it like that there. So if I go back to look for, where did I look for? It's radar points and sorry, not radar points, rally points, isn't it? Right. So jumping back to 8.35 rally point on page 14, and this is where flights within 1 hex of a rally point receive a beneficial +8 modifier for disorder recovery. I'm just reading through it a little rather than reading everything. Additionally, all friendly open airfields may be used as rally points. Rally points must be at least 10 hexes from a site's target hexes, if any. Well, they don't have any target hexes. It makes me feel that this is a friendly airfield. Everything that I've read there suggests that it's behind the lines, it's now a Warsaw Pact airfield, and it's friendly to Siskov, and he can use it as a rally point. We've got airfield operations here next, but I don't think any of that is going to tell me anything. I think all the stuff that I've just read there about the airfields rule away at the back, and then the rally points. Okay, well, I'm going to say that is. You can let me know otherwise. So he's got 2 movement points left. He cannot turn, so his first movement point has to be straight ahead at low altitude. That maneuver markers on Silver Fox, yeah, and so he started with a movement of 4. He would have a 120 degree turn. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else that's guiding me on how to do this, really, is there? So I think I'll just turn him 120 degrees then, 30, 60, 90, 120, so he's facing north. That's for Silver Fox as well. The Siskov stuff. So I'll take the max turn marker off his card. That's unspent his 2 movement points that he had. And, you know, at least next turn he can reach that. Thing is, the fact I know if that I engage him in air-to-air combat again, which I can't do it with Silver Fox, but I can do it with Saint. Then although he might get to move first. However, once he's moved, I could still engage him, couldn't I? Yeah. Well. Yeah. Oh well. Right. So that cube is for Silver Fox. So that's Siskov moved, and I removed the He wanted to, yeah, hang on, he wanted to climb an altitude band, didn't he? Yeah, I need to climb on an altitude band as well. So hang on, he had to move straight ahead first. Well, he could have climbed the altitude band, but if he moved straight ahead first, and done a free 30-degree turn, and then climbed an altitude band and done another free 30-degree... No, hang on, you can do 60-degree turns, Grant. So he moves one 60-degree turn, and then he climbs the altitude band and does another 60-degree turn. Look at that. There you go. So I can actually do that. That was right, isn't it? There you go. See, I've learnt something there then. I've done the exact same move there in the exact same hex, but I also climbed an altitude band. Because John did point out recently, remember, when you climb altitude bands, you get free turns. Whenever you spend a movement point, you get free turn. So we free turned on that hex, the same hex, 60 degrees twice. But remember, it's still within our 120 full turn. So, yeah, good. Very good. Right. Right, that's it. Well, that's it for him. His other flight, we just decided moved off the map. I feel bad about doing that, but it's only detrimental to myself because there's nothing that they could have gained from that. If anything, we might have been able to try and hunt him down. So we'll just let it go. We'll let it go. So back to us. Well, we've got just all our flights now to move, basically. Yeah, okay. Well, we've only got our bombers, Cobra, and our jamming flight, haven't we? So the bombers, I think, are going to be the riskier option. Yeah. Bombers, they're at medium altitude. Yeah, they're aborting as well. So we can... Basically, we're just heading back home. I guess the airfield we're probably heading for could be here. Is it Hanoi? Hana. That's probably the closest one. So, right, so Slam, just looking down, he's at medium altitude now. He's now a clean flight. That's obviously the reason he's aborting as well. At medium altitude, he gets a speed of 4. He could dash at 6. He's going to dash. Yeah, definitely. He's got loads of fuel. And he wants to just get away across the other side of the front. Mate, he's probably got no worries round about him. So, he's at medium already. He's going to climb to high. Which I'll do on the card. Now, 2K22s, once I'm out of... To be honest, medium is fine for them anyway. Hold on, Grant. I'm still going to trigger the medium in the actual hex, am I? Yeah, because we're sitting we're in an A concentration. But once we get to high, yeah, that's clearly what we want to do first. We want to climb it high. That means we'll only take one shot from this. So, and with that climb, is it any beneficial me taking a 30-degree turn? So that's what we're getting in at 30. I don't think so. I think I'm going to move 30, 60, 90 next turn anyway. Oh, something else. Siskov should be marked with a max turn marker. Yeah, he finished on a turn. Okay, so I'm going to spend one... Well, I've got a dice out here. I had 6 because I'm dashing. I'm now down to 5. I'm going to put the dash marker on the card as well. It's just still cluttered in there. So we're up to high altitude, but when we done that, we would have triggered an AA barrage from the airfield at medium altitude. What's this going to be? They're going to need an 18 or greater for this. Yeah, we can see there a medium. It needs an 18, so let's just roll this quickly and hopefully hopefully move on. Oof, right, seen the 9 at first. So 13, so nothing doing. So that's all we need to worry about there. Okay, so now he's at high altitude, there's nothing to worry about. His next movement point is going to be 30, 60, 90 degrees. So that takes me down to 4 movement points. Into there with a 330 degree turn takes me down to 3 movement points. No. 30, 60, 90 takes me down to 4. Yeah, I don't want to get caught up beside Cobra. Well, we can't move in the same hex as them because we're at the same altitude. So I'm at 4, so I'm going to move 1 into there. Takes me down to 3. And then I'm going to do 30, 60, 90 degree turn. Takes me down to 2. Then I'm going to move 1 ahead. Takes me down to 1. Then I'm going to finish with moving into there. That's 0. Right, I think I was right. That should be on the airfield. That's right. And remember, we're not following the flight. It says we don't follow the flight path anymore. Abort. It says flights may move freely, unrestricted by the flight path rules. And basically, it's just trying to land or get off the map on a friendly side, isn't it? Flight should avoid all combat and attempt to land at an eligible aircraft or exit the playing area on the west or edge for us, anyway, the west edge for us. Okay. So there we go. And he's at high, he dashed, he's got an abort status, so that's fine, that's all he's doing. And now, the fact he's at high altitude, nothing can really touch him, apart from if the MiGs recover from disorder. That's the only thing that can do it. Okay, so over to Cobra. Cobra is disordered at high altitude. That means we can't set dash, doesn't it? Why am I doubting myself here? Come on, Grant. You know this, I'm sure. Do we not? Right, no, I think I'm making something up here, aren't I? Where's played card 5? Disordered. If not adjacent, dash throttle. Right, just looking at the bot rules. If they can do it, we could do it. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking it couldn't. So, Cobra, he's got plenty of fuel. So, he's going to dash at high altitude. You can maybe see the card in the distance there. He's a clean at high, so his dash is 8, a speed of 8. So we'll get a dash marker on him. And yeah, he's just got to go 8 hexes ahead. He's nothing to worry about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still disordered, still at high with a dash throttle. And he's marked finished. Okay, and then finally our jamming aircraft has a speed of 4, but we reduced that to 3. And let's wind that. Oh, we're moving north there. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's fine. I don't think we need to... Well, hang on. Did I not say we did have some worry? Well, you know what? It's nothing we can really... Yeah, that is pretty bad, actually, because Siskov... Not Siskov, sorry, Silver Fox is going to take one more 2K22 attack, isn't it? There's nothing I could do about that though, and it's not going to be in the jamming arc. That could be bad actually, because you get, what do we get for that? A strength of, we get a -5 to the die roll because of the spot. No, the spot jamming, the aircraft jamming, and the standoff jamming, the defensive jamming of the aircraft and standoff jamming. There's no way I could have stopped that though. Of course, I didn't think we were at low altitude as well. So John pointed that one out. No, there's nothing I could have done, because if I turn it drops off. Oh, hang on then, Grant. No, you just change it in the next turn. Duh. So that's fine as long as if I do it straight. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. I'm forgetting it's not gonna happen, we're gonna get a jamming phase first, and we can alter the standoff jamming marker. Right. Okay, that jamming flight is not the one that's disordered. Try and put that over that side. Right. And he is medium. Okay, and well, I don't need to mark him my marker, but that's all flights moved. Okay, so everybody moved. Let's get player card 4. So onto the fuel phase. Yeah, I did. I was thinking back to standard air-to-air, marking the flights off, but I'm pretty sure I do that at that time. It doesn't. It says it here, but it says it when you're doing your. Is that not the very end step or something like that? Mark off one fuel marker. I think I would do that then. Although I started taking Mike's advice, using the dash markers and then marking the fuel points off now, because I could see myself getting mixed up with that. Okay, flights that use dash throttles, and then we've got the recover aircraft bit, so we'll do that with that. So who we got? We've got Cobra. Get my black pen. Cobra takes another fuel point. He's got plenty. Our bombers, the aardvarks, I'll just take it. It was on the card, so I'll mark them off. They've got plenty as well. And anybody else? No, that was it. Okay, it's right. So the roll for recovery bit. I want to say he gets a -2 to this roll. It's 2 dice, isn't it? Yeah, he gets a -2 to this roll. Well, you know what? It is on a play rate card somewhere. There it's there, Grant. Do it properly if you're going to do it. Okay. Right, and I know we shouldn't be doing this just yet, and it's because of the mistake that I made, and the whole flight was not shot down, but they were all damaged, weren't they? No, basically I had one aircraft in the flight, it was damaged, so all his aircrafts in the flight were damaged, which means abort, which means he would move to the map edge. But initially I had it shot down. So I'm just going to do this now. Don't think it matters. I think it might be the end of the scenario. We'll be making this same roll. So we're going to roll 2 dice. And he's going to get a -2 because the aircraft... this is per aircraft. There's only one aircraft. So his aircraft is damaged. So he's going to get a -2 to this die roll. So unlikely, but... well... in fact, no, can he? If the roll is 2 or greater, the aircraft recovers. Oh, right. I think I made that roll before, did I not? Ew, right, that's the bit. Roll 2 dice per aircraft. No, I still roll for this. like looking there wondering, like, are you adding things up right? Right, we get a -2 to this die roll. Let's just do it that way. There, I've rolled 12, so the result is 10. Is that greater than or equal to 2? Yes, it is. For some reason there, I started thinking, if I roll 2 ones, if I get 2, if I get 2, a -2 from 2 is 0, so that wouldn't recover. So, yeah, there was a very, very slim possibility of well, I need to roll a 3 or a 2, wouldn't I? Out of 2 dice. Yeah, okay, so he recovers damage, basically. But, no, I can still track that on the actual damage is shown on the card anyway. But I do think next scenario I might have a bit of paper beside me, just jotting some numbers down, because again I'm going to have to. I want to say we've got 2 killed in action victory points for us, but I mean that's been stored up for quite some time. But I think that's right. But I should do it if I had it written down somewhere, you know. Okay, let's get this turn finished. So next step, SAM location, that doesn't happen. Track phase, we do need to do that. Still nobody at deck. We've got a fight at low this time, but that's not. Oh, that could be relevant. No, he's on the wrong side of the front, though, isn't he? Got to be on the other side of the front. Right, so I'll roll for us first on the C column. I've rolled 8. On the C, that's a diamond and curly brackets. And just to check the curly brackets, apply any fight in the deck, any fight at low on its own side of the front, any fight in the chaff corridor. So, I'm not sure what Silver Fox is. I mean, if he is a diamond, he's not, he's a spade. If he was a diamond, he's still across the wrong side of the front, so you would not get that. No other fights at low for us. Right. Yeah, I could put these markers back there just to show you. That's our bomber. He's a bit clear now. There's a better having them so you can see them yourself. Right, roll in for Warsaw Pat on the D column. He's only got Siskov's undetected anyway, so we don't need to roll for that. Yeah, because it's just to check for undetection. Okay, moving on. SAM acquisition, right, none of that. Admin phase, flights roll for disorder recovery. Well, like I've said, Siskov cannot roll because he was just involved in air-to-air combat this turn. Cobra can, however. So he's only getting what his aggression value is, though. So as he was not involved in any of that stuff this time, his aggression... he's got a -1. Of course he got attacked again, didn't he? Right, well, it won't be rolling for disorder recovery then, because he cannot roll 21 on 2d10s, because he's at -1. So there'll be none of that then. Like I say, Siskov cannot, because he was involved in air. Split flights, nah, I'm just going to leave that now. Roll to room with shutdown marker, switch radar. Hang on, the one we missed, John. I actually realised it myself, that one, but it was after the fact. Roll for loss of AAA suppression. I want to say it's an 8, we need to roll, but I'm having to look it up. 18.21. Roll of 8 or greater reduces suppression level. So, let's jump across here quicker. It's just a 1d10 then. It must be, yeah. Where is it? Roll a die, yeah. Right, so 8 or... No, let's look at it. Ooh, rolled 7. Right, you needed 8 or greater, wasn't it? I can't retain anything, can I? Roll of 8 or greater reduces suppression level. Right, no, so that's not going to happen. That was for the suppression here. Kind of relevant now, although I totally see where it was all coming from, that it was beneficial. I get it all now, John. I just wasn't seeing that. It's funny though, I was watching back through it thinking, There was one little bit where I think I got an interruption with the doorbell ringing. Here's me, Grant, making his big excuses. And it was when I was looking over that section, because I even read that it only takes the strongest one from the mobile AA. Then I read the barrage and it says it only takes the strongest one. And why I didn't then think that they were still two separate things, I don't know. Like I say, there was an interruption. I did have to go and answer the bell, the door. Yeah, okay. I think that's it. The last one is taking this down to 1. Again, this isn't going to matter. We're all done. We're out of here. Can you bring this to a close, Grant? Then see. I think I really need to play. Actually, that'll come away as well. So I'm launch marker, yeah. Any other markers? We've got abort, maneuver, max turn. That manoeuvre's for us. The max turn's for him. Yeah, that's right. Because he activated and removed his manoeuvre. Yeah, nothing else there. Disordered. Yeah, that's it. Well, that is end of turn. So move the dice on to 9 now. So, let's just see here. He moves to adjacent to this airfield. And then at the end of the turn, he's going to roll for disorder recovery with a +8. And you know what? That is unless he's involved in air-to-air combat. And if he is involved in air-to-air combat, he cannot do that. And then we move on to turn 10. He can't. He's not going to be able to do anything else, Grant. Just rather than make another part here. Because if I do go in and move everything, well, you're probably going to do it reasonably quick, Grant. But what is the point here? The point could be that I could shoot down his damaged aircraft. Let's see what points we've got, I think. Let's have a look at that. Right, so I want to say, yeah, I'm going to have to get I've got a bit of paper there that I was writing stuff on. Right, here we go. I want to say that we shot down, there was 2 pilots killed. None for us. We didn't get any aircraft shot down. I mean, to be honest, I can show you across here, whether you can see them all there or not, and bring this across here. So I think we've got 2 for the 2 pilots. Like I say, we've got a damaged aircraft there, and a crippled aircraft there, and a crippled aircraft there. And they've got damaged, shot down, damaged, crippled, damaged, shot down. So I'm getting, well, here's the thing, that we're not going to know about the runway. Okay, so we don't know about the runway. So we get 2 points for a Warsaw Pact aircraft shot down or crashed. So we get 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 of them, so that's 8 points, right? Now they get 4 points, or we get negative. Well, they get 4 points for any that they've shot down at us or crashed. Well, I still need to recover my 2 crippled aircrafts as well, don't I? So that's something else I would have to do as well. So that does hang in the balance a little bit. Yeah, to be honest, because if we roll for recovery on the crippled aircrafts, if we fail on both of them, that's 8 points for them. Yikes. Well, let's look at our points and sort of consider what they might have. So that's A. Now, any of the enemy aircrafts recovered crippled. They had 1 in the Hess flight, so we get 2 points for that. And enemy aircrafts recovered damaged. Well, we haven't checked for Siskov 1 yet, obviously, because he's still on the map. But that would be 1, 2. So that'd be an R. 1 point each for them. That's 2 points. Enemy crew members killed the captain. We killed 2 of them. Now, they never got any of ours. Enemy SAM or EWR totally destroyed. No. Enemy SAM or EWR heavily damaged. No. So we've got 8, 10, 12. We've got 14 points just now. But that's not counting the negatives that we're going to get. I mean, my guess would be this one's going to be just a 1. Because it's pretty unlikely to roll 3 or less and 2d10s. But, well, these two, however, it's a -7 to the roll. So that's a bit riskier. Now, the damage to the runway, let's say, well, worst case scenario is no effect. Let's say we achieve a slight damage result. That's 6. So that'd be 8, 10, 12, 14. That'd be 20 points. It's the same victory levels. 20 is a decisive victory, but however, we are going to get some negatives there. I reckon that's still going to put us in the victory category. Well, there is a chance of it not happening if we roll terribly on all the dice rolls. But what more can we benefit by carrying on? That's the thing. I think all we can really achieve is shooting down. Well, he does have 2 aircraft left, Grant. I think we kind of need to keep this moving, eh? Yeah. Right, 56 minutes. You could still speed through this, Grant. Yeah, there's a few people laughing at that one. Okay, let's give it a try. Turn 9, right? Let's roll for random event. Ooh. Right, I better put this on camera. Because what we don't want is a 9 or 10. Right, here we go. Random event. Oh. Right, 9. Okay, well, we've got lucky the last twice and rolled Warsaw Pact with us. There's the parade. There it's there. What is it? So 1 to 6 it's Warsaw Pact. 6 to 10 it's NATO. So we really want 1 to 6 here. 1, good. Okay, so that's we'll go through that just again. So then jamming phase. Well, yeah, of course this is the other thing. Silver Fox is in. You know, that's got to move as well. Yeah, I couldn't have skipped this. So we're going to alter our jamming. Going to point it that way. I think that'll be fine. I mean, he's going to climb altitude anyway. And that's now going to be in the arc of Silver Fox, his first movement point. It's not going to stop the SAM though, remember, because that's infrared. But he'll also trigger a 2K22. Yeah, he's in a bit of bother actually, isn't he? Yeah, okay. So is that fine there? I think so. I mean, that also has the EWR thing in it as well. Not that that's that relevant. So I'll put that there. We're going to spot jam. Yeah, that 2K22 and yeah, that's the EWR. There's nothing else there we need to really worry about. Let's say we can't spot jam the inherent ones. So, and we can't spot jam the infrared. So, okay, moving on. Detection. Roll to detect undetected flights. Well, Silver Fox is undetected, Cobra is undetected, Siskov is undetected. So yeah, we need to roll for them, I suppose. Right, let's roll. Just going to do these off camera, speed things up. Let's roll for Cobra. Well, actually, is anybody at deck? No, there's none of that. So no modifiers. Well, unless we need to do an EWR. So Cobra on the C-com needs a 12. So we rolled an 8. Thing is, the EWRs want to have a go at that now as well, innit? Right, so we'll just do normal detection first. Silver Fox. That was quite important, I suppose. Well, it wasn't really. 11. That's under as well. And Siskov, oh yeah, we want this, actually. So we're rolling on the decom for him. We need a 13. I've rolled a 14. I should have showed you that one on camera. That one was important. I'm sure you trust me. I don't muck about. Right, so we did get Siskov. That's good, because we probably wanted just to have a go at him. And needs to be detected, so... Right, Silver Fox. F-16s have got radar, so he might well be new. Well, actually, hang on, we're adjacent. Hang on. Is that not automatically... Is that not visually detected anyway? Right, hang on. Standard visual 10.21. 10.21 visual detection. Player makes a visual detection roll for each enemy flight within 4 hexes. Hang on, visual identification though. An undisordered enemy flight is within 1 hex. Well, Siskov is the disordered flight. So... and within 1 altitude band. Well, he is, but he's disordered, so I don't think he can do that. And then visual detection requires a non-disordered flight as well. Player makes a visual detection roll for each enemy flight within 4 hexes in line of sight of a non-disordered friendly flight. Yeah, so he can't detect that. He would have just detected that automatically, I think. But he's disordered, so... yeah. Okay. So we rolled on him. We rolled on Siskov. Right, the only other thing is we've got a radar check on Cobra. Yeah. Right, I want to say that the arc of it... well, actually it is. It's coming into our arc and we're going into its arc. So we're getting... double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, we're getting the full double for that. So, and what I mean by that is rather than... oh, we don't get the... yeah, standoff / spot jamming, maximum of 6. We've got our standoff, full standoff is 3, and we're getting it double because we've got spot jamming for 6. And it is in each other's arcs. So we're getting a -6 to that roll. Again, I'll just do it off camera. Why do I want to say he gets 2 shots of this? That's wrong, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, we're rolling on the B column here. So he needs a 10, but we're getting a -6. Okay. That's the wrong dice, Grant. Needs a 10. What a -6. He's rolled 14, -6 is 8, so not quite. So he doesn't get Cobra. Right, I think that's right. And Condor is already detected. Yeah, and then there's no other... I mean, Siskov, again, the fact he's disordered, I don't think he can use a radar check, but he's not in our front arc. I'm pretty sure I would find it would have to be not disordered to be able to do it. Okay, that's all the detection movement phase. Right, roll to determine issue. 1 to 6 NATO. Well, this could be important. I don't know. Does it? Is it? Well, we'll roll on camera now. 1 to 6 is NATO. It's 9, so it's them. Well, yeah, I know. Okay, so he's going to move his aircraft first. Now again, he's in a disordered state. That's all he's got this time. He's at medium altitude. He's got a max turn, so he's got to move straight ahead. I'm just looking at this off camera, try to speed things up. So he wants to set dash throttle. Again, I'm not going to set dash throttle because we only need a movement of 2. And at medium altitude, he's got a speed of 4. So even he's wanted to climb an altitude band as well. I'll give him that, because he can climb to high as one movement point and spend the other two just moving towards. So I'm going to do 1 free turn, 2, and we're going to have climbed altitude as well. And to be honest, that's what he needs. Well, actually, I'm moving 1 ahead then. Just make him, it looks safer for him, doesn't it? You know what? I don't know. Saint's going to come after him, but I don't know. I don't know what's better. Yeah, we probably want to get in behind them, so let's make it harder for us then. Point them that way. That manoeuvre marker's for Silver Fox. Yuck. And that max turn comes off. Well, let's just say set his speed at 3 then. So he's climbed to high altitude, and he's made his orbit point being that friendly airfield. And that is assuming that we've got all that right, but I'm just going to let it go that way. It's beneficial to him. If we've got it wrong and he does need to go further afield, then he's not going to make it, right? He's not going to have the time to do it, I don't think. So, yeah, I'm trying to rush through this. I might be missing things. Oh, yeah, that's right. So we didn't set dash because there was no need. We did climb the altitude band, and we were able to get adjacent. Right, so we can check for disorder. Well, I say you can, but I'm just going to go in and attack him. I mean, I even have... Do we have BVR left? We do, but I'm tempted to... Right, we can't set dash. Right, okay. Well, let's get Silver Fox out the way, because he's got some grief to take. Yeah, which is unavoidable. So Silver Fox has no damage, but he's aborting. Okay, so he's going to set, and he's clean flight. And he's at low altitude though. So he can dash at 5, so he's going to set his speed at 5. And yeah, his first movement point is going to be to climb to medium altitude. Is that right? Does that make sense? Hang on, the SAM can fire at medium. No, you want to move, Grant. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? I don't think it matters. Because if I'm in here, well, you're not better just... No, I'm not. Because then I'll take 2 checks. I take 2 checks from the inherent. What I'm thinking is that if I moved into here and stayed at low, then it's going to fire at me now. The inherent would fire at me. If I then move away, does the SAM still get to fire while I'm moving away from that hex? Yeah, I'm not really sure about that one. I'm not sure if I'm making that clear as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the first movement point to climb to medium altitude. Oh, he's got a manoeuvre marker. Okay. Stop, Grant. So he's going to spend half his movement points to remove that. Now, how does that half get... I want to say that means we're as well not dashing, I think. Because I think it rounds in the wrong way for us. If half its movement points rounded up, it spends half its movement points rounded up. So it spends 2.5, it spends 3, yeah. Okay, so we won't dash. There's no point. We're as well just there, and at 4, we're going to have to spend 2 of that. Well, here we go again. Well, I asked this question to try and benefit myself once before, John, but I've just had to spend 2 movement points to remove that. With that, do I have to... Do they trigger? You know, because I'm spending movement points. Ooh. I know I sort of spoke about this recently, but I think it was because I let it go, it was benefiting me at the time, I think. I can't recall what it was all about, but I'm going to make a wee search for manoeuvre on BGG, I think. Okay, I was looking for an answer to that, but I'm not finding any, and I'm thinking, surely somebody must have asked this question. And then I thought, maybe you're being a bit daft, Grant. And yeah, I think I am. So I'm looking at the conditions that would trigger an A barrage. A, it enters a hex in a barrage zone via movement, scatter or SAM avoidance, right? It changes altitude band in a barrage zone as a result of movement, scatter or SAM avoidance. So I mean, yeah, if I climb to medium altitude here, it's going to fire. Note that a flight that enters a barrage zone and descends an altitude band in the same movement phase is only attacked once. C, it expends a movement point turning in a barrage zone. So yeah, if it was to turn. D, it presses a dive bombing attack in the barrage zone. E, it successfully engages an enemy flight in standard air-to-air combat in the barrage zone. Nothing about spending actual movement points there, Grant, and that's what maybe the reason John's not said anything, because I think I'm just thinking if a movement point is spent, this will happen. I'm pretty sure if I look up the SAM conditions for right, it is slightly different then. SAM units may only fire at flights during the movement phase following the target's expenditure of a movement point. Well, that is different then. That is what I was thinking, and maybe I've been thinking more SAMs than AAA. Because by removing that manoeuvre marker, we are spending a movement point. You know, I know it's not something, I mean, it does say it. Well, it says we must expend half our movement points rounded up. Okay, I'm going to ask a question. Okay, I went and asked that question. To be honest, it feels like it might be a bit of a dumb question. But I don't know. I mean, you'd kind of think that this shouldn't happen. It's having to expend these movement points because of this manoeuvre, but I don't know. Maybe it's kind of the flight's all over the place. It's got to get itself back on track, and then when it does that, it's spotted by the SAM again because it's still kind of manoeuvring, and it allows it to fire. Maybe. Yeah, maybe not. Well, what are you going to do now then, Grant? Well, let's not move Silver Fox just now and see if I can get an answer to the question. Would that not be a better idea? I think it would, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because Saints... Oh, yeah, the MiG-29 moved to high altitude. That's good, okay, because we're at the same altitude. So... yeah, let's get the Saint in on the MiG. Is that silly? Am I risking points here? I'm not. I don't know. I'm not sure. Right. So Saint at high altitude, and he's not got. Let me bring this down for Silver Fox because he's aborted as well. Oh, I need to put the manoeuvre marker back on him as well. So that's all for Silver Fox there. Yeah, because we're not 100% sure. Yeah, I've got to feel the answer to that can't be. It must be no. You don't. That's not going to trigger a SAM attack. But yeah, it's still feels like it's worth asking. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Right, let's get Saint moving at high altitude. Now he's got a speed of 5 unless he wants to dash. I'm not so sure he does. So let's just say he's got a speed of 5. So that's 90 degree turns, 33 30s, isn't it? Right, one free turn. Well, hang on. Just remembering about that. That's small. No, that's under Sam, isn't it? Play card one. Yeah, they're only going to trigger a medium. I think that, because in that hex, we'll get this. Because it's right on top of the Sam. I wondered if I might have done that further up, way back there somewhere. John never pointed it out anyway. Maybe I was lucky and I was high altitude at the time. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I did check it. That's possible. So I think we're okay to go across that as long as we're at high. So that would be one free turn. One free turn. 2, 3. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, am I? And then 30, 60, 90. I'm not, am I? I think I need to turn to start with. And then come more around, don't I? I want to try and come in. Well, to be honest, as long as I come in from that hex, that's fine. As long as I'm coming in for his rear hemisphere, that's what I want to do, isn't it? So hang on, we'll start with a turn then. 30, 60 for 1. Then 2. Then a turn of 30, 60. Then finish with 3 and then 30-degree turn. That's what I want to do, right there. That's it. And again, there's I think that left me with two movement points. I suppose I might not engage. Was that right? I turned to... No, was that 4 I spent? I turned to start with. That's 1, 2, free turn. Hang on. 30, 60, free turn. And then... No, I didn't free turn. I think I just went turn and then in free turn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think I've got 1 point left, actually. Oops. No, careful, Grant. Yeah, I think I've got 1 point left. Right, okay, and I'm going to try and engage the MiG-29. I mean, you could do BVR. I don't know. I think maybe just get right in there and... Oh, let's just go standard air to air. I think... actually, was it not John that pointed out that they were better? The F-16s are the best in standard. It's the F-15 that's best at BVR, isn't it? Yeah, let's just do that. So I've got 1 movement point left. I'm going to engage in air. Yeah. Rules of engagement. Just look in there. Well, there you go. If I'd wanted to BVR, I can't. Oh, well, actually, I'm coming in from the rear because Silver Fox was right underneath me. Right, let's forget about that though. I'm doing standard air to air. So we'll just check standard air to air engagement requirements. Detected, not stacked. That's right. It's in 1 hex and same altitude or 1 altitude. We're both at high. If not in the same hex, tackers, defender, and forward arc. Yeah. Tacker's undeployed weapon. Yep. Tacker not in any of these states. No. All air SAM attacks current hex resolved. Yeah, he's at high altitude. I mean, the one downside here could be to scatter to medium altitude, couldn't it? Yeah, that would be bad. So there you go. There's a possible downside. Yeah, that is pretty bad, actually. Does that mean I should maybe reconsider and go with the BVR then? It's just if I scatter in that hex and drop my altitude to medium, I'm going to get shot up by this, and I'm going to get shot up by that. Okay, I'm not going to get the inherent stuff, but the SAM can shoot a medium, and also the AA barrage. So you can see that's a bit riskier there, isn't it? Whereas if I just stick with BVR, I can BVR there, because although I've got a flight within 1, the rules of engagement say, oh no, I can't. Yeah, I can't have a friendly flight within 1. Okay, that's annoying then, because I would move this flight first, wouldn't I? We're at an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, I think I'm maybe just going to just wait on this. Because that makes me now wonder, if I move Silver Fox flight out the way, I can BVR this flight and take less risks, with the scatter situation. Yeah, I'm gonna move him back. Now he was in there, I want to say, like that. Is that right? At high altitude. I'm just gonna wait, I think. Yeah, sorry about that. I think I've blathered on for a bit there. Now I'm gonna cut the video. I'd like to know about this situation first, because if I do, well, I'm more than likely I'm going to do this first, because it's going to trigger the SAM attack anyway, whether it's using the maneuver marker or not. So this SAM is not going to be an issue to me. Yeah, I need to find this out first, I think. Right, you know what? I'm going to leave that back there. It's the whole turn's ours. He's moved his only flight. We've got all our flights to move. It will stop me rushing here as well, and I can take a bit more time. Whether I can do that after copying this across, maybe. I'm up for work again in the morning. It's not too early though, so I might be able to get this. I thought I was going to get it finished, but there you go. Yeah, talking rubbish as usual. Okay, I'll get this uploaded, and we'll maybe get a clear answer to that question, and we can come back and finish this off. Okay, cheers guys.